Hi, and welcome to Phelous Finds Films That Fail. Nope, never saying that one again. Anyway, in the movie Troll 2, we had a film which featured absolutely no trolls in it, but instead goblins. So moving on to Hobgoblins, we have a film that features some very gremlin-like characters. We start the movie with a couple security guards. The old guy McCready gets annoyed at the other, Dennis, for listening to music.
Work around here, not just sit around and blast your eardrums.
Hey, take it easy. I can do both.
Hello? Hello? Didn't you hear the phone ringing?
No, I didn't.
They've already hung up.
The phone clearly wasn't ringing at first, but they continued to have this big conversation about answering the phone.
In the future, would you just answer the phone?
Oh, we're off to a great start here. I like how McCready herds Dennis along here like he's gonna get lost or something.
Well, wait a minute. What's this down here?
Oh, it's just an old film wall. There's nothing down there.
Well, yeah, why don't we check it anyway?
I'm telling you, there's nothing down there.
He clearly doesn't want him to go down there, but of course. Dennis goes into the vault, which isn't even locked for some reason, and... suddenly, he appears on a stage and starts singing. Or rather, doesn't. Until he takes the ultimate stage dive of doom! McCready shows great concern over this and shuts him up in the vault. Maybe he'll lock it up this time.
What was the problem this time?
A slight case of death.
How many is it now? 3, 4?
It's 3, and I really don't think you need to hire anyone else.
Do you know that if something were to happen to this studio while no one was on duty, our insurance is voided?
This place has been deserted for almost 30 years.
Wow, so this abandoned studio is pretty important, huh? Not only does it need 2 security guards, but also the head of the studio comes into the office every day just to boss the old security guard around. So they get a new guard, Kevin. But he also tells Kevin,
Stay clear of this area.
well, it shouldn't matter that much because you've locked the vault this time, right? Then we get to meet Kevin's friends and girlfriend.
What? Don't you ever get any tapes from the adult section? Kevin isn't like that. He would never want me to see anything that was rated X. Would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, these are pretty believable characters at least, right? The sex-obsessed friend, the I don't even know what sex is girlfriend. Oh, and we also have the sex-obsessed dork who apparently doesn't get any, so he calls a sex line. Oh, please let them die quickly.
I have to keep calling the phone company every month because of all these sex line calls being billed to my number. Really?
Get it? That's funny because Kyle's on the phone with them right now. Anyway, sex-girlfriend's boyfriend has just gotten back from his army training, so naturally he shows Kevin how to fight with rakes. Apparently they taught him how to make a rock organ noise with every rake blow in the army. Amy and Kevin then have a really stupid and pointless fight, and it seems like the movie wants you to take this seriously, yet they have Daphne and Nick in the van making cartoon sound effects behind.
It was an unfair match.
You look really pathetic.
What's the matter, Kevin?
I'm just realizing what a bad movie I'm in. Later that night, though, they get a break-in at the abandoned studio. He puts a knife up to McCready because... actually, they don't give any reason because it's so well thought out.
Get away from it. Who are you kidding? You don't know how to use that.
Let's take another look at that. I guess he doesn't know how to use it. Or more appropriately, the effects team doesn't know how a gun works. You know, usually there's a little flame and smoke that comes from a gun barrel after it's discharged. It looked like there was a couple puffs of smoke that somehow came from the side of it, but it certainly wasn't from the barrel.
I just wish Amy could have been here to see what I just did.
Yeah, because she probably would have got a complete personality overhaul. She'd seen that non-gun effect. Kevin then tells MacReady he's going to the forbidden hallway, and then conveniently leaves his walkie on the floor. You know, because... Anyway, look at how quick MacReady is to tell him not to go down there.
Going in for first run. Stop whatever you're doing!
Kevin apparently thinks the loiterer might have ran and hidden the vault. Oh yeah, and of course, the damn thing still isn't locked up! It's a vault! Come on! They hear a growl, and believe it or not, we are now supposed to take it that the Hobgoblins have escaped. And you know, despite the fact that it was left wide open for quite a while Dennis was dying, they didn't get out then, but Kevin opens it for 2 seconds and zoo, they're out of there! We're getting our first look at the Gremlins' cousins, and wow. Just wow. MacReady then has a flashback about 30 years ago when the Hobgoblins came to Earth from outer space.
Then I learned of the power they had. I still don't know if they figured they were doing good for people or not. Find a person, tap into his brain, and then create his wildest fantasy. The creatures wound up destroying everyone.
MacReady then tells Kevin the creatures are attracted to bright lights, and if someone is acting weird, it means the creatures are in their head and nearby.
You must destroy them all before dawn, because once it's daylight, it's too late.
But don't ask me why it'd be too late, because we didn't think of that. And don't ask me why I'm not doing anything. We didn't think of a good reason for that either. So since apparently Kevin's friends are the only people in town, the Hobgoblins go right to them. They make Daphne think Nick is outside the house, then suddenly attack her. Weren't they supposed to make a fantasy which eventually kills you, not just directly attack you? Well, considering how seriously this movie seems to be taking itself, I see how they can forget these little things like plot. Cut it out! Nick arrives, and apparently he drives around with live grenades in his van. But Kevin, the master of turning out lights, immediately calms them down. And then for no reason, the Hobgoblins all run into Nick's van. It's pretty amazing how you never actually see them run anywhere, huh?
Could I use your telephone?
Well, we've all just gotten attacked by some really weird creatures, but none of us really give a shit, apparently. I really don't know what they're trying to go for anymore. They've pretty much destroyed any tension these Hobgoblins could bring. And as for the humor...
Oh, Mr. Zookeeper, I could never take a cockatoo that size.
Yeah. Anyway, it gets in Kyle's head and the sex line girl appears just outside the door. Oh, when we find out Amy's fantasy is something I don't give a shit about, moving on. Kyle and sex line girl drive up to a sign that says all the way, which is just side-splittingly funny when she suddenly starts trying to push the car off a cliff.
Do you need any help?
Kyle must start helping because the car suddenly starts going forward, but I guess he parks it again. Unfortunately, Kevin shows up and rakes the Hobgoblin. Then the car drives forward on its own off the cliff. Anyway, for some reason they all race down to the club and try to find Amy now. They start listening to a band when... They keep singing. credits roll? No. No. I was just hoping that'd be the case. But seriously, this song goes on for like 3 minutes and it contributes nothing to the movie. Well, not like any scene really contributes anything to this movie, but anyway.
There's a 2-drink minimum here.
Look, we're all underage, okay?
What?
How many fake IDs we need?
Okay, that wasn't funny, and how did that make any sense? Here's your fake ID! Okay, let me see your fake ID! So, Amy is now a dancer at the club, and we get subjected to yet another brand of stupidity. Kevin goes up and tries to get her off the stage, decks a guy, and instead of this, causing a scene change, they just sit him back down and continue on!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Then Nick's superior shows up for absolutely no reason.
I'm out on a weekend pass.
Oh, sorry, he showed up because of brilliant writing.
I believe that we need to stage a diversion. I'll make the decisions. We need to stage a diversion.
Because trying to rip off one movie wasn't enough. Then we get a hobgoblin making these two make out on the floor for a second until Kyle hits it over the head with a bottle. Then she pretends to hit him while... And to add to this utter stupidity, Nick starts randomly throwing grenades around, and apparently people don't notice until one goes off right near them. Amy then comes back to whatever the hell senses she had before having her mind taken over. And then the sergeant decides...
I've got a truckload of soldiers out in the parking lot. If you start now, you can be finished with them by morning.
What?
Then he throws a grenade, and for no reason, Nick jumps on it. And again for no reason, he doesn't explode, he lights on fire. Yes! One down! And anyone who's thinking the sergeant, is a hobgoblin fantasy, well, you'd be wrong, because that might make a little bit of sense. So Daphne sticks a grenade in the sergeant's jacket, and for some reason, an explosion goes off somewhere else. Meanwhile, back at the studio, McCready has done absolutely nothing. He hasn't even moved from that area. But when he realizes the camera's back on him, he goes to see the studio head.
The creatures have broken loose. The same ones I tried to warn you about when I first got my job here.
Are you going to try to tell me that same story about the hobgoblins again?
I already sent the other guard out to try to find them.
What? You mean there's no one manning the front gate right now?
No, sir.
This is preposterous. You do know that if something were to happen to this studio while no one was on duty, our insurance will refuse to pay off?
Yes, sir.
Well, then get back on your post.
You're not listening. I want to go out and find him. You must need my help by now.
You are not going to leave your job to go out and chase some foolishness. If you walk off this lot, you are fired.
Oh, good. Saves me the trouble of quitting.
Then the loiterer shows up again with nunchucks and even throws a pair to Kevin. It really just doesn't surprise me anymore, this stupid film. But oh no, he pulls a gun. Oh good, I'm glad Kevin didn't die, yippee!
Where are they going now?
Back to their home in the vault. Did I ever tell you what I did in the war?
No?
Munitions.
Kyle and Daphne almost get together, but Nick is still alive. What's the point of that now? Is it because he is such a likable character and the audience will be super relieved to know he didn't die? No, that's obviously not it. So basically he's just alive for the joke of Kyle and Daphne not getting together.
The film vault blew up. You fired me earlier. There was no one on duty when it happened.
And if that joke wasn't funny enough, we also get...
Can I use your phone?
Wow, I can only imagine the audience reaction to seeing this masterpiece in the theater. What's one of the real tragedies of this movie? Well, the fact that none of the main characters died. None of them were likable, so the least the movie could have done was kill them off. The only death we really see the Hobgoblins cause was due to MacReady's incompetence of not locking the vault. Actually, it's the MacReady character's fault we have any of this stupid movie, which fails on every level it tried. As a comedy, it extremely fails. As a horror, well, there's one of the laughs this movie can bring. Its plot is just such an utter and complete mess, you'll barely realize what the garbage you just watched was about. Since blowing them up was apparently an option, why he didn't do this 30 years ago, we'll never know. If only MacReady could go back and put right what once went wrong. We wouldn't have this stupid movie, and I wouldn't have to shoot myself in the head because I can't stand what watching it has done to what's left of my mind.
Theorizing that one could time travel within his own lifetime, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the quantum leap accelerator and vanished.
Oh boy. Alan, what am I doing here? I must be trying to stop this guy from killing himself?
Actually, Sam, according to the Ziggy, there's a 95.6% chance that this Phelous guy was going to chicken out and not pull the trigger.
So you're saying...
Pull the trigger, Sam.
Oh, I'm dead!
Well, that's interesting, considering there was no flame or smoke or kickback or anything.
Oh, I didn't think you'd notice a minor little detail like that. But, well, Al, I'm a little concerned what shooting myself in the head might do to me.
Fine, Sam, don't jump out of the sky, but before you make that decision, you might want to see what movie he's reviewing next.
If he's gonna review that, that'll mean it's gonna be me! Oh my!
These monsters seem so fake. My nerves are gonna break. Phelous, don't let me down. You need to be around. Grab that running one up and blast that single new one. I think it's moving. Look shady. Phelous, oh Phelous, bring on more comedy. Oh Phelous, Phelous, and some horror movies. Oh Phelous, oh Phelous, I don't care how nice you sound. Oh Phelous, what's your opinion about?
Thought today looked like a nice day for a review outside. I stand corrected.